Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get the shot on. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Love the 10th anniversary on there. Look how strong that is. 10 years of this. All right, sorry, it's live TV. I was just remarking what a anniversary, 10-year anniversary. I'm so proud and honored. Thank you, Bethel Park, for letting me do it with my guys here. Great Pittsburgh Sportsline team, great volunteers. 10 years, we haven't missed a show. Unbelievable. All right, thank you for watching our Pittsburgh Sportsline show in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from a friend's house in Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between in the city of Pittsburgh. If you're on the Verizon hub, you're looking at us. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook, watching our show and liking it. We're doing Facebook Live. Thanks to Nick, who's back. He's been lost for a little while, but he's back. We have 6923 on the likes. We're trying to get up to 7,000. So we're in that neighborhood. This old dog learned a few tricks. I can see if you like my page. I'm asking all of you, my fans, friends, thank you. Keep liking us. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, Nick Callis. We're all here to talk sports, try to entertain you. We like to have fun, sometimes a little too much fun, and we'll see what happens. I have some promos here. First one up, we got A2, and I'll explain to people that don't understand. A2 is Anthony, because A1 is Anthony. Anthony was here a year and a half. A2 came on board as an intern. Now he's a volunteer for Pittsburgh Sportsline. Look what he did. I can't say anymore. 412-831-1900. Olive Oils Pizzeria. Frank said hello to Smokin' Jim. He said, Smokin' Jim, could you get me a date with one of your sweeties? And he goes, I see those pictures. I go, never mind, it's a family show. We'll talk about that later. Back to Olive Oils. He said, enjoy the food, fellows. Thanks for the promotion. Great Italian food, XL pepperoni pizza, steak hoagie cut 6 ways. I don't even know if anything's left for Smokin' Jim to take home again. These guys are hungry. We got Dan the Man came back from graduating. What was it, Slippery Rock? See, I do remember some of the things these volunteers and interns tell me. Dan's on my camera, and just tell me how I look. Look at what A2 got. And they're at Hillcrest Shopping Center. Check it out. They're open from 10 to 10 each day. And Fabriosa, Frank's son was there. He said to say hi. He was on our show in Olive Oils Pizzeria a few years ago. He was the kid at the counter staring into the camera. And he made his debut. All right, check him out. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Let's see what A2 can do. He gave the thumbs up. Look at that shot. That's Joey Fabus. He died at 8 years old, right before his 9th birthday, 6 years ago. And his family, instead of just wallowing in the sorrow, it's so sad, they lost their second child. First one was the kidney disease. They started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. There's Joey without DIPG and then with DIPG. It's a dreaded brain cancer. When they diagnose you, you live about a year and that's it. And he didn't make it that year, so very sad. They have a 5K, 1-mile superhero race every September at the high school. I filmed it each year except when I got my kidney transplant. And we've been doing it, and that's their biggest fundraiser. So check it out next September. or this September coming up. It's a great time there, and we usually have good weather for it. I'll just share, in the years that we've been doing it, no rain. So come on out. You know how Pittsburgh weather is. Oh, look what just happened to us. Okay. Another 501c3. And that Joey Thabas Childhood Cancer Foundation, you can donate money, time, whatever events they're doing. Look at this shot by A2. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. Smokin' Jim drives up there after he hits KFC and Pasta 2 and Planet Fitness. So he does come up that way, South Park Road. He knows it. He never knew it before. And he doesn't know that you could take that Park Avenue, then cut down by the community center, and then hit right where we're at, a couple minutes away. We aren't going to teach him because he says he's coming from Monroeville, but I hear he's mostly coming from Katanning. All right, but the schoolhouse is 1905 schoolhouse. Sorry, I'm very upbeat this year. 2022, I wanted to have more fun, so I'm trying to add that theme. The schoolhouse is 1905. It was built, first high school here in Bethel Park. They've remodeled it from top to bottom. I'm on the Community Foundation. They have a Community Foundation auditorium that was sponsored by our group. We'll talk about that later. And they have a dance studio. They have a great artist there. They do events when they're okay. They have military uniform displays. They got yearbooks from, I think, every year now. And they just do great things in Bethel Park. And they have my favorite tea shop in Bethel, Reginald's Coffee, fresh roasted coffee from around the world. They get the raw coffee beans. They have a roaster right in their establishment. You can see it. Smokin' Jim can touch it, and they have Wi-Fi. So it's available, and great owners, Julie and Matt. Stop in. Friends of mine tell me, I'm not a coffee drinker, but they say, forget about Starbucks. Reginald's Coffee's the best. Next, I got to thank, look at A2. He crushed it. He crushed that. Always Be Smiling. It's a 501c3. It's a Facebook page. I still have friends. Thank you so much for liking Always Be Smiling. Their son, Bennett, who is the B in Smiling. Kristen and Dean lost a son at 16 and a half, a year and a half ago. He died of kidney disease, had 2 kidneys. Dean, the dad, donated his kidney, the last one. And too many difficulties with Bennett's life, and it took his life. So they started this, and they help other people with kidney disease and transplants in the local area. So they're doing great things. If you want to do me a favor and them, please like their page. And if you know anybody that needs help, please refer them. They will help with money. That's how simple it is. So great organization, 501c3. Next up, Jessica Lee, the jazz singer, and myself, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, do a by request show. We were asked and told that some seniors have no relatives. So this Reformed Presbyterian home, 2344 Perrysville Avenue, there's like 40, 50 seniors that have no relatives. So we started a Donate a Blanket on Christmas, and we're going to continue to Valentine's Day. And we have I got a container here. It's right under the clock as you come into the municipal building, the lower lot, double glass door, make a left before you get to the BP TV studio. If you're Smokin' Jim, don't go to the police station. That's on the right. Go left. The can is duly marked. Look at this that Nick did. Look at the flyer Nick did.
Oh, that's great.
He did fantastic. Why he's not a graphic designer, I don't know.
Should have went to the Art Institute, saved a lot of money.
No, they're expensive now, Smokin' Jim.
No, they don't exist anymore.
No, I know.
Really?
All right, well, back to this. Please donate blankets because it'll help them out. Steeler jerseys, other sports jerseys from our local area, and just drop them in here. It's open 24 hours a day. You can come in. You'll be on camera. It's safe. Just drop it in, and we appreciate it, and it'll help these seniors out. And if we get enough stuff, we'll donate to local senior citizens in our neighborhood too, or anybody else that might request us to help. But that's what we're doing, and we're doing it to Valentine's Day. Smoking Jim for your sweeties, that's February 14th. Just thought I'd say it. Another 501c3. Watch A2 on this one. He put the thumbs up. Look at, whoa, that is centered.
Ding, ding.
Look at my brown shirt makes that framed. Perfect. Go to bpcf.org, Bethel Park Community Foundation. They have grant money for you from $100 to $5,000 for your group or organization in Bethel Park, helping people in Bethel Park. Those are certain restrictions. Smoking Jim wanted to get gambling money, but it's not helping Bethel Park people. If you don't bet, don't start. If you do bet, bet against Smoking Jim. Most of the time, 98%. I'm a trustee on the board. We've given out $1 million in 25 years, helped local groups, even EMT, fire department, police department, even help Rocky the dog, got money for that. So a lot of things, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Lions Club, the list goes on. Just check it out, bpcf.org. On a happier note, a friend of our show and myself, Kathleen Miller. Let's see what A2 did. Centered perfectly. He's on fire. Kathleen Miller contacted me, and I talked to her. Her kidney level was at 17%. It has to go to 15 to get a kidney like I got from my son. So she put messages out there, and we've advertised on our show to get a living donor. She got a living donor. We can't mention it, as I've mentioned before, but her level's at 16. When it goes down, which it will, because she's getting older and her health, she'll need a kidney when it hits 15, and we'll find out who the donor was and if they found out through Pittsburgh Sportsline or somewhere else. So I'm honored that we could help her potentially. And living donors, if you donate, you can help other people. I have friends and other people I've met have donated a kidney, and they can designate it to somebody else if the blood types and all the particulars match. You have to go through a whole screening process. But I know others that have done it, and they want to do it for a relative, but they didn't match. They ended up swapping it and getting that relative a good kidney. So it's great news. If you get a living donor kidney, it can extend your life to 29.7 years. If you get a cadaver kidney, and Smoking Jim, that means a dead person that they have a kidney, and they get that and unfreeze it and they use it, it could only be 14 some years. So you can double it. So I'm in the bonus situation, as you can tell. Dave Cable likes to have fun. Look what A2 did. Look at my smiling face there.
Rocky.
He doesn't even understand.
Oh, nice.
Uncle Sam is an icon of America, and he'll have to look up icon in our Funkin' Wagnalls because he doesn't have a clue. He went to Gateway, sorry.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I want you for BPTV. We got Dan's back. We got A2. We got Nick's back. We got Ryan is back. Smoking Jim says he's the best young editor at BPTV. I defer to A1 with what he edits on my shows all the time. And sometimes an hour after the show, he's already edited it.
He's the captain.
I don't know how that happened, but he's been here a year and a half. He's in there. And we have Noah is back from Eden Christian Academy in Sewickley, Mount Nebo. He's interviewing me before the show and after the show. He wants to find out the special sauce that I have to do a show like this. And it's a little hard to explain. I normally don't get interviewed, but I bent to his wishes, so we'll continue after this. But check it out. You could be a volunteer here. If you're in high school, we have Ethan that's helping out, who's a senior, and he's done some different events and filming, so others can help out too, and it can help you down the road with school and things. Dan ends up getting a job where he's going to be a videographer and more. So we got good news from that, and it's all because of BPTV. All right, I got to test A2 skills. Let me move some of these papers around. All right, here we go for the big test. Let me get it the right way. Take a deep breath and I'll be steady. He gave the thumbs up.
Boom.
Wow, Skeets Service Station, 6103 Library Road. Red, white, and blue station. They have a special smorgasbord for Smoking Jim, pig's feet, hog legs, everything else they got there. They even have wild turkeys, you name it, they'll feed you there. They even have some bologna and pepperoni, so you never know. Give a call, 724-348-4715. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas.
So, a question for you.
Yeah.
Wild turkey, is it 80 proof or 101?
It depends on who purchased it or who brought it in. And you being a bartender, you could answer that question perfectly. That's a good one, Chip. Just like Chip tells you, make sure your car has gas when you're in there, but Skeets told me they have a little extra gas in a 5-gallon can. They can keep you going there. They work on electronic devices and repair them, and they're an all-service type of service station. And they even had raccoons a few years. They were baby raccoons, and Smoking Jim fell in love with them, and he didn't realize that they can escape with their hands. They're like human hands, and they can move them around. They got out of their 2-story cage with heated blankets because they wanted to be wild, Smoking Jim. Unlike you, they wanted to be wild. So call Skeets for this entertainment, 724-348-4715. He sponsors What's on Your Mind. Guess what? Smoking Jim. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
I'm going to do my high hard fastball. Overhand.
You got to see Levine. Hey, congratulations to my Afro brother, Dan the Man, graduating from Slippery Rock.
First disclaimer, Tony from Chick-fil-A. He got his hair cut normally, does not have an afro here today.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing this country can use is another phys ed teacher. But, hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. Another congratulations to Bethel Park.
Yeah.
Hey, they made national news.
Is it something negative?
It's something
Not
Mr.
at all.
Negative.
Not at all. I was going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
I'll just talk about it briefly. The coach canceled weightlifting and told all the players to shovel somebody's driveway.
I know, I saw that.
And don't accept any money. And I always say, Al Levine, the talking machine, you know what I always say?
No.
If you can't win on the football field, figure out another way to get some publicity. The Pirates do it all the time. Hat day, bat day.
Just like the
Bring your
Gators.
dog to the park day.
Hold it.
Just like the Gators, right?
Good
Hold
publicity.
it. Hold it a second. Smoking Jim is so far out of line. This is beyond any
Oh,
disclaimer.
don't worry. He can keep talking because as soon as Gateway, they'll move down far enough that they can finally win a class. Okay? They couldn't win Class 5A. So they'll go on the next
No,
it'll be 4.
I got it.
They'll go down to 3. They'll go down to 1A. Whatever it takes.
He's my BFF, but it's so disappointing how he goes negative. And he did it. He proved it again. One of the nicest guys in media. He can't help himself. Look, he's laughing at his own joke, and I find no humor in it. These kids did great. Matter of fact, one of the Fabus guys was doing it. He's on the football team. He was shoveling driveways, and his mother, Cindy, showed the pictures.
Did anybody shovel your driveway?
No. They said he looked strong.
The proof would be in the pudding.
What does that even mean? We're leaving Smoking Jim because he's out of control again.
Everywhere I go, people want to know about my top 10. Skeets helped me with this. Ernie helped me with this. The top 10 greatest boxers.
Hey, I talked to Ernie, and here's why Smoking Jim doesn't always tell the truth. I believe Ernie's written 4 or 5 books.
I almost read one.
Read his books. Smoking Jim won't read them. But Ernie told me, we just talked today. We talked yesterday, and he had another question. Then he goes, "Oh, by the way, Smoking Jim called me." I go, "No, he never calls." He goes, "He asked me for his top 15 of boxers." So here he is lying again
What?
on TV.
I just
Hold
said
on.
Ernie help me.
Wait, did you say top 10 or top 15?
What did he say?
He said top,
Top
10.
10.
Ernie said top 15 by Smoking Jim.
I asked him.
How
for
many
his
letters
top
of the alphabet
10
are
or
on that list?
15.
How many letters of the alphabet are on that list?
10.
Wrong.
I don't know. It's only.
Letters
Here,
of the
just
alphabet.
Start counting. Start counting.
Let me get through this. We got to get the chip.
Okay, let's go to Chip.
10C. All Lee
One letter.
McGinnis.
You need to
10B.
see with your
2
nose.
letters.
Matt Conway. 10A. Rod Solka.
3.
9B. Rayco
4.
Moore Saunders. 9.
That's 5.
Rudy Bowles. 9B. Sammy Vasquez Jr. Number 8A. Monty Mesa Clay.
I heard
Number
6 letters
7.
so far.
Bob the Grinder Baker. Number 6B. Brian Minto.
7
Number
letters.
6A. Eddie Chambers.
8 letters.
Number 5, Fritzy Zivic. Number 4, Charlie Burley. Number 3B, Paul Spatafore.
9 letters.
3A, Billy Kahn.
10 letters.
Number 2, Michael Moore. And number 1, voted the second greatest pound for pound of all time next to Sugar Ray Robinson, Harry Grabb, the Pittsburgh Windmill.
What about
And
Billy
that's my
Kahn?
top 10, huh?
What about Billy Kahn?
Billy Kahn's on here, right here. Billy Kahn, 3A.
Okay.
Right with Paul
Nick.
Spatafore.
Nick,
Pittsburgh.
after hearing that, how extended was the 10?
Yeah, there were 10 letters. You said there were no letters. You lied.
No,
So
I said,
20.
10
I
letters.
said I didn't know how many letters. What are you talking about? Letters? Letters? There's
A,
numbers here.
A, B, C, A, B.
Three letters. A, B, and C.
No, that's the variation of letters, but the total number of letters
I
that
don't
appeared
know.
on
I
that
didn't
list.
count that. I didn't count that. I just counted 10.
Well, that's why I did it for you. So it's all right.
No, it was over.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Tell
done.
them how many over. 10.
10.
over?
So there was a list of 20.
Okay, I rest my case that he didn't keep it at 10 officially. So his top 10 to Tony from Chick-fil-A, it's not a top 10. And Ralph Williams said Keith Butler stepping down. Tony from Chick-fil-A said, are there going to be changes? That's one already. Bill Means said over 100 driveways were shoveled. And Smoking Jim, I wasn't on the list.
Wow.
Not awesome.
So for somebody being disrespectful like Smoking Jim, I can't apologize. That's his opinion. He was 100% wrong. And thank you, Coach DeLallo. We had his dad on our show, John DeLallo,
Yes,
talking
sir.
guns,
Yes, sir.
and girls can shoot. Definitely.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Smoking Jim, for not much. I appreciate it. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
No, thank you and good evening, everybody. We can, no, I just nothing.
Chip,
What I
I've
wanted
never
to, wanted
seen
to,
you
wanted
this
to
way.
bring up, what I wanted to bring up is Coach Brian DeLallo and Coach Jeff Matheny were the two that put forth the effort yesterday to have the football team forego their workout and to go out into the community and shovel snow, not accept. And I can't, when I first read that yesterday morning, while I was cleaning up the snow in my driveway, I was thinking, what a great way to set an example
too, Chip.
for young athletes to go out and help people in the community that are unable to help themselves. And it was a completely wonderful thing. And the only thing I can say to Coach DeLallo and Coach Matheny is, well done, gentlemen. Your players, you're teaching them the right way. And the players dove in 100% effort.
No stopping.
And I want to tell you something. Those are the kind of men that you need coaching at the high school level and teaching life lessons to young athletes.
Chip, you couldn't have said it any better. I wanted to give kudos to them. And Smoking Jim, I disagree with you 100%.
They have to put it on Twitter.
I disagree with you
What great life
100%.
lessons would we learn from you as a coach, Smoking Jim? Can you give me 2?
Yeah, get the money when you shovel snow.
No.
We got to move on because you know what? He's actually making himself look worse, and he's laughing harder. I'm trying to protect him from you.
I think I said that everything that needs to be said about it. But
Chip.
well done. It blew me away that these are the kind of lessons that young athletes should be taught, not the kind of lessons that we see being taught about selfishness and self-promotion
and cheating.
self-promotion. Yes.
Get the money, says Smoking Jim.
Well, he proves our case, folks. If you want to be like Jim, that's fine. He's still my BFF. I still love him, but
Don't be like him.
he went off the rails, is all I could say. And we're going to go to Nick right now. Welcome back. I missed you.
Well, exciting.
I haven't seen you since last year.
That's true. That's true. I missed the last show of 2021.
There's a
I'm sad.
difference. Not the truth, truth. Very simple. I rest my case. And thanks to all of you for watching our show. And I try to have more fun, and I think we're having it tonight at Smoking Jim's expense because he's laughing at himself.
Oh,
ahead, Nick.
Speaking of Smoking Jim's expense, the one and only time something bad happened to Smoking Jim that benefited my career happened last year.
No, he's had many bad things.
But no, nothing that's boosted my.
He had a quadruple bypass, but it didn't
But that
affect
didn't
you.
affect me. That's my
Right.
point.
Okay, great
And
point.
I'm kind of happy to say that, but it's only happened one time. But
What was
yeah,
this, 1 year ago?
It was a year ago. It was a year ago, 4 days ago, the 14th. But anyways, close enough because this is. only
In
4
his
days away,
book, that's perfect.
Right, sure.
That's like right on.
But I've been on the show for a year, so I'm like, wow, the years are just going by. This is crazy.
Hold it.
So-
I got to thank Smoking Jim for the head-on accident at Planet Fitness.
Oh, don't say that.
I do. He's alive. And he didn't do therapy, and he didn't have whiplash, and he wasn't in hospital for 3 days. But the nurses were beautiful.
I guess I'll say thank you for that then.
You have to.
You're a great man, Smoking Jim. Oh, goodness. All right, sports related.
Thank you.
The Steelers. I'm proud of the Steelers, and I would have hung the banner if they'd have won the Super Bowl, but they did not. If any of you remember, I hung a Steelers blanket the first game of the season and
And
said that they were going
I
to
have
have a
to
great
put
season.
this disclaimer. I was against that, and he jinxed them.
You think I jinxed them? But they made the playoffs.
You made everybody else that watches the show believe they were good.
Well, look at the influence that I have gained.
I'm just
No,
telling you, I give you credit.
I'm not going to talk about the Steelers in my opinion.
I
segment,
am.
So I'll just say, oh, that's good. Okay, but yeah, so we'll get there. I'm just saying, I'm proud. It was a shaky season. It wasn't pretty, and I was covering a couple games at the fans, specifically the Chargers-Raiders game, where I was just like, I had to actively sit there and listen to the entire game and how it unfolded, and I was like, wow, it's unbelievable. But the Steelers.
Do you mean in a good way or a bad
A
way?
very bad way. I was panicking. I was like, oh, this
Okay.
actually is not going to happen. They're going to tie, and this is going to be the worst thing to happen in Pittsburgh sports history. No, that was dramatized. But, no, I mean, I thought that they picked it up, did well. They made a good showing against the Chiefs. And, yeah. You don't think they made a good showing against the Chiefs? The
I'm going to
first quarter
explain.
and a half?
I'm going to explain after that. Go ahead.
Oh, Chip. Okay, yeah. I'm fine with it. That's all. I think that they're going to do well moving forward without Ben, and they're going to fix things. But the showing they made for at least the first quarter and then the first half of the second quarter was good.
I'm glad you clarified that before I speak. Okay. And I was young once, 23 years old, so I understand where he's coming from. Exactly. I bleed black and gold. But I got to tell everybody, and I've been saying it, this was the worst team that I watched all year. It may have been Ben's best year and worst year at the same time because of all his comebacks. But when you're averaging like 1.23 yards on 46 passes, I don't think you're going anywhere. When you have offensive linemen like a guard who was center, the green, getting pushed back past the running back. What does that tell you? I was a center. If you got pushed back, you better try to fall down so he could get in his way. That didn't even happen. The line improved a little bit for 188 yards for Najee. Najee got 1,200 yards. I'm still in shock that he beat Franco's rookie record, that even happened. He's a super back that had a terrible line that showed some little nuances that they could block a little bit better towards the end.
Franco did it in 14 games.
Well, that history tells you that every time, that there's no comparison to that stuff. So look at James Brown, Jimmy Brown, what he did. Yeah. What was that, 12 games? 12 games. So, I mean, we got records all over the place. But you see different highlights that we have. Coaching, playing. It was one of the toughest years I ever had watching the Steelers in my whole life. And for them to get into the playoffs, it took a miracle of 5 different things. And it was predicted on our show by Jake. Jake called Jacksonville and said to bet the Steelers. He's on the record. And if you're going to gamble, go with Jake. Except on Sunday, he called me up and said, bet the Steelers. I didn't bet anybody, and I saved money. Who knows what Smoking Jim did? We don't want to even hear. But it was a tough season, tough to watch. I'm happy they made the playoffs. But when I was talking to people, I go, did you watch any of the games this year? We start out slow, and then we come on at the end. And the first quarter was one of the best first quarters that I saw us play. And halftime, second quarter, how do you give up 300 yards to Mahomes and 3 touchdowns? To me, it was a nightmare that I expected, and it happened quicker than I thought. So congrats to the Steelers. They need lots of changes. Smoking Jim never liked Butler. He's gone. Canada will still be there, so we'll see what he can do with new people. And hopefully they get us some linemen. Maybe they get us a free agency quarterback, not Aaron Rodgers, because it'll chew up the whole cap. And we need linemen. We need offensive linemen. We need defensive linemen. And did anybody hear of inside linebackers? And maybe a cornerback or a safety? I'm just saying, I'm a fan, but I try to be honest about it, unlike some other people in Pittsburgh that are delusional. And that's how I see it. I'm hopeful because we have a tradition of it, but I'm not as hopeful with Art in charge. And that's what's on my mind. We'll be back with Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Dahlberg, it's Schultz working it back in deep. Fresh from the bench, it's Crosby. Crosby on Kunitz and shot. Penguins win it!
Can you tell me where you were on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
No. Can you tell me where it was at 7 p.m. on Tuesday?
What if I told you I can? What if I told you I know exactly where you are every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
Every Tuesday night? Why would I be doing the same thing every Tuesday night?
Maybe because you like pizza.
What are you getting at?
We have your fingerprints all over the switcher in the control room. I can smell the Olive Oil's pizza on your breath. I think you know exactly what I'm getting at.
You can't prove anything.
We have eyewitnesses that can place you at the scene. You might as well just come clean.
Okay, I admit it. I help broadcast Pittsburgh Sportsline Live every Tuesday night at 7 on BBTV.
I know you do, Anthony, because I'm there too.
What?
Because I'm the VIP.
So check out the VIP, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and the rest of the lively crew on Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on BPTV.
Okay.
The zone, Bonino. As Hagelin moving to the net, it's spiked down in the air by Torney and laid around behind. Kessel up with it there. Fed one around in front. Hagelin, your shot.
That's a great graphic.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And just to update all the people that's watching, I bet the house on the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So what a great weekend I had. But my fiction and fact from smoking.
Hold it.
What
How
about
could
your loss
you-
on the Cowboys?
I didn't bet that
And you
game.
can put your nose in.
I didn't bet that game.
How did you ever bet two favorites? You can't make much money betting favorites.
Pardon me?
Am I talking a foreign language?
No.
You bet money, and there's favorites, and there's long shots. He bet two favorites, so he made a couple dollars where he could have made
No,
hundreds.
he didn't. No, he didn't lose money. Really didn't make.
Oh, Chip, brilliant point.
he didn't lose money.
Now I understand.
I cleaned up, but I'm going. My fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac is going back to 1992. One of the greatest coaches in NFL history, Bill Cowher, got the job in 1992. And Bill Cowher said
I
at
can't
that
believe he's
time
saying it.
was, we have to win our division. We don't care about nothing else. When you make the playoffs, everything, you got to win your division first. The greatest team in football at that time was the Houston Oilers, led by Warren Moon, Ernest Gibbons, Webster Slaughter, Hayward Jeffries. They were loaded on defense with the Jack Pardee run and shoot offense, Mike Munchak and Bruce Matthews on the offensive line, Ray Childress, Sean Jones, and Chris Dishman. That just moves us all the way back up till now. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to find a way to beat Mahomes. Mahomes in 3 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 76 of 97, over 900 yards, and 14 touchdowns. The offseason.
How many interceptions?
The offseason, I'm not sure about that. The offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers got to take a page out of Bill Cowher's book and figure out a way to beat Mahomes.
But
And
see,
that's a
Mahomes
fiction
isn't in
fact
their
for
division,
Brooklyn.
but that's okay.
But they go to the Super Bowl they go to the Super
What kind of
Bowl
analysis
2
is-
years in a row.
You said in a complicated way the Steelers need to get better. Did you provide any way that they can
Now,
get
I think
better?
the Pittsburgh Steelers is one of the most talented teams in football. So they have to
Holy.
figure out a way now.
Okay.
They have to figure out a way
I
to beat
got one
Mahomes
question.
Because the road to the Super Bowl, only thing that matters in Pittsburgh is the Super Bowl, right? And Mahomes been to the last 2 and is probably going to go to 3 Super Bowls in a row. So
I
you
got
gotta figure
a
out way to beat
question.
him. Yes, sir.
You watch film every day,
2 games every day.
so you say. And in all the films that you've watched, did you ever see a running back have to get around guys that are 4 and 5 yards back that are defensive linemen?
No, sir.
Then you didn't watch any Steeler games. They were 3, 4, and 5 yards back when he was getting the ball.
The offensive line was bad, but everything else is
Oh.
good. We got Tyson Elamu coming back next year. You got Tuitt coming back next year.
Did you say
Well,
Alamu?
take into account the Steelers' problems on defense stemmed from not being able to stop the run. So the Steelers run a 3-4 defense. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
2/3 of their defensive line didn't play but more than 1 game
Thank
the
you.
whole year. So do you think that had an effect on their ability to not be able to stop the run? The Steelers secondary
Yes.
under Terrell Austin has improved. And since Keith Butler no longer had the responsibilities of calling the defense, Keith Butler may not have been a very good defensive coordinator, but he's probably the best outside linebacker coach in the NFL. Look what he did with Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree in his first 4 years had 19.5 sacks. His last 2 years, after they got rid of Joey Porter and Keith Butler took over the 19.5 sacks in his last 2 years.
Jerry O.
I mean, look what he's done with TJ Watt.
Right.
Okay, Keith Butler as an outside linebackers coach has produced a defense 5 years in a row that has led the NFL in sacks.
Good point.
Okay, so the defense is not far from being an elite defense. They need help on the defensive line.
Oh, without a
And what was
doubt.
Butler-
And their lack of depth is what hurt them this
What
year.
was
Exactly.
Butler before Coach Tomlin promoted him to defensive coordinator? He was a linebackers coach. Great point, Chip.
You know, so I mean, you know, and
Smoking
Keith
Jim's
Butler's
coming back.
And one more guy before we go to Chip. There was a steal. The Steelers got Weatherspoon, a
Yes.
6'3"
Yeah.
cornerback, for a 5th-round draft choice. That was a steal.
They better
and
sign
they
him.
need to re-sign him.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
They got to sign.
They need to re-sign him and Minka
And,
Fitzpatrick.
and then your comment on Tuitt, I'll never forget. He looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't been healthy enough, and then now, because of his brother
He may
dying,
never come back.
he got pushed over the edge.
Well, and he had injuries.
yeah.
You know, he had injuries, but that's
No, we need some players back.
And
Chip makes some good points.
I would trade Devin Bush for a warm 6-pack. Get him out of here.
well, you know what? We'll see what happens. You know,
Time will tell.
Well, you know, here's what. All of us have all the answers to all their problems, and you know what? The sum total of everything we know is nothing. Okay, we're not in that locker room.
Well, Chip,
we don't know what
yeah.
they have available, what their evaluations are. Here's what they will do. They'll figure it out.
Well, here's how simple it is. None of you and none of us get paid to work for the Steelers. I trust them because they haven't had a losing season because of Big Ben and Mike Tomlin. So,
Big Ben.
well, it goes hand in hand. Coach got to direct some
Well,
of the
Big
stuff.
Ben was not having a losing season 3 years before Tomlin got here, and a Super Bowl before Tomlin got here. So, Big Ben.
Okay, Smoking. You got a little point. All right, we're going to move on.
All right, everybody, welcome to Trivia Time. And to get me started on Trivia Time, I got to give my buddy Jim here a shot. You know what? The first words out of Bill Cowher's mouth when he got hired as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers was, and I know this because I watched the news clip from it this past weekend, was thank you, Chuck Noll, for leaving me a team that is so stacked.
Chip, great point.
His first season with Chuck Noll's team, he went 11-5.
Chip,
Love to
I'm
hear.
glad you said it because I've never heard it from Smoking Jim.
No, you never will. You never will. And the only Pittsburgh Steelers coach that can honestly say that he won with all his own players was Chuck Noll.
Yeah.
Because when he came by,
Oh, nothing.
they were a dog with fleas. So, next up on the agenda, January 25th, next Tuesday night, Major League Baseball will announce their 2022 Hall of Fame inductees.
Ooh.
My humble prediction is there won't be any. And this will not be the first time that happened. Let me give you a quick rundown of what some of the people that are eligible.
Okay,
You know,
lay it on us.
you've got the cloud of performance-enhancing drugs hanging over their. So you got people like Bonds, Clemens, Schilling, and Sammy Sosa. I don't believe any of them are going to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, one of the things that could potentially happen, and I don't see it happening in his first year of eligibility, is David Ortiz being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Big Poppy.
Had he not tested positive for PEDs in 2003, arguably you could say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. All of the votes are not in right now. They're getting votes in. You know, there are some of the votes that are private that won't be counted until the time is right. There are some that are being counted, and some players are trending in a direction where it looks like they might get in. But, you know, we'll see, because I believe that if David Ortiz gets in, that the floodgates are going to open, and the rest of the cheaters will have a better potential to get in.
Good
And I
theory.
personally believe that none of them should get
Barry
in.
Bonds.
And you know,
Put him in.
Barry Bonds in his last
Put
year of
some clear
eligibility.
on.
So
Let me rub
last year, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens
Clear.
had 61% of almost 62% of the vote. They need 75 to get in, and you know, there's not a very strong likelihood that they will, and we'll see what happens. I mean, the votes have to be counted. We're not going to know the answer till next week.
Great points, Chip.
Another notable candidate connected to PEDs, Alex Rodriguez, okay, whose entire career is a joke because there isn't a
Go to
time in
high
his
school.
career
High school.
when he wasn't using PEDs. He may have been a Hall of Fame player with just on his natural athletic ability. The same way Barry Bonds didn't need to use PEDs to be one of the greatest players of his generation.
He already was.
Up until the time that he started using, he was one of the best players in the Major League Baseball. Won multiple MVP awards.
But
And
now
it's
he
a
has
shame that his ego caused him to go down that
because
path.
now he has the records. Yes.
And okay, so of the first-year candidates that are eligible this year, which I don't think any of them warrant being even considered for the Hall of Fame, Carl Crawford, Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, Justin Morneau, Joe Nathan, David Ortiz, Tim Lincecum, Jonathan Papelbon, Jake Peavy, A.J. Pierzynski, Alex Rodriguez, Jimmy Rollins, and Mark Teixeira. Now, there are 4 candidates who appear to be making significant gains on the ballot.
Wow.
And I personally don't believe that any of them are Hall of Fame worthy, and that's just based on the quality of the play of their careers. And that is Scott Rowland, Todd Helton, Billy Wagner, and Andrew Jones. Rowland, a 7-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove Award winner at third base, has gained 12 votes from returning voters over the last year, placing his percentage 68.8%.
Wow.
He garnered 52.9. Now, see, these are the early votes. So this isn't 100% of the vote. More than likely, the percentage that they have right now is going to go down when all the votes are counted, okay? Todd Helton, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. At first base for the Rockies, has gained 11 votes. He's tracking at 56.5% right now. He received 44% last year, okay? Wagner, a 7-time All-Star closer who saved 422 games, is up 9 votes after getting 46.4% of the vote in 2021. He's tracking at 47.6. Reminder, you need 75% of the vote to get in. And Andrew Jones, a 10-time Gold Glove Award winner in center field, belted 434 home runs, is a +6 among returning voters, placing him at 48.2% after he got 33.9% of the vote last year. So, it'll be interesting to see. There's going to be a number of players who may get taken off the ballot after their first year. Candidates who are in danger of not reaching the 5% threshold to stay on the ballot are Mark Buehrle, Ryan Howard, Tim Hudson, Torrey Hunter, Tim Lincecum, Joe Nathan, Jonathan Papelbon, and Mark Teixeira.
Wow.
These are guys that are all in their first year that may get taken off the ballot because they don't even get 5% of the vote. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It's not going to be the first time that there have been no candidates elected to the Hall of Fame, but we'll see what happens next Tuesday night.
Thank you, Chip. We appreciate that.
All right, so it seems that I've brought up a subject before the show that got both of the guys on the other side of the desk riled up. So here we go. I'd have given this opinion if I were on the show on a couple weeks ago anyway, but Kenny Pickett did not lose Pitt the Peach Bowl. I think that the college sports playoff or the college football playoff dynamic is broken. I think that for a number of years, teams and the NCAA and coaches have profited off the talents of players. And I think that now that players have a little more power in how they can make decisions and become the greatest athletes they can be at the highest professional level, I don't think that Kenny Pickett made the worst decision, especially because Nick Patty got hurt and they had to bring in the third-string quarterback to play. That could have been Pickett, and that could have been disastrous for his NFL career. The college football is about developing players. What is it? Discover, develop, and then there's a third D in there somewhere. But the college athletes are playing college sports to one day potentially make it to the highest level. And when we talk about the college football playoffs, Pitt won the ACC championship and brought much attention to the school, and get potential players and other recruits interested in playing for the team. The culture is good, and that can be thanks to Kenny Pickett. And they got the ACC championship. The ACC championship got them to the Peach Bowl, but where does the Peach Bowl get them? A national championship? Even more recognition? No. They get to play in a game close to New Year's that's sponsored, where the NCAA can get a bunch of other money for getting sponsorships. And then they're done. That's it. There's no road that goes past the Peach Bowl. So Kenny Pickett is developing his talents, decided to come back for another year and play for Pitt, where he developed his talents, improved his draft stock, and is now going to be a top quarterback draft pick come the NFL draft in the summer. Is that not what college football and college sports is about? The NCAA is to develop the best athletes to make them successful?
Absolutely not, but go ahead and finish.
Okay, well, he improved his draft stock.
They don't care about that.
No, it's not. It's about profits.
No,
it's about money.
No, just to speak to a couple of your points, and then I'm not going to make this long, and we don't have to knock down and drag out, because I respect your point of view. I just disagree with it, okay? Kids don't go to college to play football to go play in the NFL. Do you know the percentage of players that play college football that make it in the NFL? It is a very, very low number. The athletes play football to get a scholarship, to get the education, so they get the college education, and then if they are among the elite of the elite, they get a chance to play in the NFL and play for possibly 3 years, because the average NFL career is less than 4 years, okay? So what's more important to them, playing in the NFL or getting in the education so that they can earn for the rest of their lives after they're out of the NFL, because most players that play college football don't succeed in the NFL.
We're talking about Kenny Pickett, though. And Kenny Pickett wants to make it to the NFL. And Kenny Pickett doesn't have the type of draft bonus money that he's going to make.
Do you believe that Kenny Pickett didn't owe the University of Pittsburgh anything?
He got them an ACC championship. It's not like...
Where would Kenny Pickett be if it wasn't for the University
of
Pittsburgh?
Where would Pitt be right now without Kenny Pickett making it a successful program?
They would still be
it's
there,
mutual.
Like they have been for 130 years.
But Pitt losing the Peach Bowl doesn't hurt Pitt's program.
We'll have this debate another time.
He sold out on his team. That's my opinion. I disagree with yours. Let's just leave it at that.
One thing, Al,
as long as it's negative.
I believe this, and you guys can mark this tape. Kenny Pickett not playing in the Peach Bowl game is going to listen. A couple of months ago, he was going to be the first player picked overall. I believe he'll be available when the Pittsburgh Steelers pick. Not playing in the Peach Bowl, he's going to slide. Not playing in the Senior Bowl game, he's going to slide.
But he is playing in the Senior Bowl.
No, he's not playing in the Senior Bowl. And if he doesn't have a good NFL combine, he's going to slide even more. Kenny Pickett went from being the number 1 pick to being the 20th pick by his decision. And we'll see in April.
Is that you, or do you have?
We just disagree with you. It's all we respect your opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah,
you're entitled to all your opinions.
I disagree with you.
We're going to move on because we're at less than 6 minutes. I wanted to talk to Penguins a bit in the end. I got an on-location thing to talk about too, so let's go do it, and then we're going to hit Penguins right after that.
Okay.
By the way, I love that graphic. A2 did that. On location. Man. I had a great call today from Jose Caraballo, Ray Schaefer Boxing Club. He goes, "Hey, Talking Machine, are you ready to do Golden Gloves March 5th? Wow. I said, book us. I didn't even ask where. He got approval of March 5th. He goes, can we do some series of shows like we did a couple years ago? I said, yes. He goes, can you do other fights? I go, yes. Coming attractions with Jose.
Yes.
And he said, I got the money. We're going to set it up for you. Can you be there? I said, me and Smoking Jim will be there. He goes, we love you guys. Come on out. Colleen's turning pro. Wanted to share that. She's turning pro. And we're going to go to Penguin Talk right now. If the Control room can get us a Penguin graphic and go right to it. They won last night, down 3-0.
To the
5
Vegas Knights.
goals.
5 goals, 13 out of the last 15 games the Penguins have won.
How about the people after 2 losses in a row? Break the team up. What's going on?
You know, how about all the people after the playoff exit last year? Talk about Tristan Jarry. They need to trade him. They need to get rid of him. They need to bring back Marc-Andre Fleury. All a bunch of hogwash. Tristan Jarry is proven beyond any question of a doubt. He's a #1 goalie. And beyond that, he's got to prove himself in the playoffs. And until he does, which we're not going to see until this spring,
Yeah.
you know, right now he's doing everything that's being asked of him. Geno Malkin comes back, first game back off of injury, 2 goals, 1 assist, and the team just hasn't missed a beat. And they're getting contributions from top to bottom. You know, you're not really necessarily seeing Sid Crosby's name in highlights every night, and that's good, you know, because the Penguins need to rely on the younger players. They're the guys that got more spring in their step.
And Sid's still scoring points and
Sid's
helping.
He's
playing defense
one
like
of the
a
best
beast.
players in the league.
Yeah.
And that isn't going to change. Nobody's got more dedication to that game, and he lives and breathes hockey. The whole reason why he's put on this planet is to play hockey, and I see him playing hockey as long as I see Tom Brady playing quarterback.
Well, maybe he can play as long as Yager, who's 50 years old, still playing. He could do that, but I'm so proud of the core that we have. Malkin, Crosby, and Letang. Letang's played so great the last 2 years. He used to make some of these goofy plays where he'd give up the puck. He's maintained the puck, and he's kept the offensive thing that he has going on.
So will the Penguins re-sign him at the end of the year?
I think so.
Will there be room under the cap? Because some of these younger players, they're going to have to start getting paid if they want to keep them on the team.
Well, they have a dilemma here. Look at a guy like Rust, what he's done.
Rust has been phenomenal.
No, and just the players that have stepped up. I give Jarry all the credit in the world. I still doubt the playoffs.
Give Mike Sullivan, they got the players to buy into his system.
100%.
And it is working, you know. So you think about all of the challenges about managing a team in a COVID environment, because you never know from a night to night who's going to be taken off your roster to be quarantined. So you've got to have people to back up the people that you have in there. So that means that he's got depth, and he's got everybody contributing, and everybody knowing that at any given night they could be given a sweater and be required to play.
I know the Steelers always say next man up. The Penguins practice that.
But it's a lot. There's a lot of fun going on down at the paint can.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a fan of the Penguins, and I wish them well. We'll see what happens this year.
Me too.
Then Smoking Jim was telling me just before the show that Casey DeSmith is no slouch as a backup.
He don't know hockey. He don't know what the puck is going on. Smoking Jim, what about the puck? Come on, buddy. No, hey, I want to thank everybody for watching the show, putting their comments. I couldn't keep up with comments on the Facebook Live, but we keep doing Facebook Live all the time, so keep tuning in each week. You'll hear outrageous statements from Smoking Jim Frazier, and some are true, and most are opinions. Just had to straighten that out. Nick, come back strong. And we're going to end the show with Stay Joey Strong.